Hi guys, I'm Cambro, and this is my channel where we talk about Arkham Horror, the card game, player cards. We'll be talking about the Shattered Aeons today, the last Mythos pack in the Forgotten Age cycle. So the pack is coming out on the 15th, but the card has already been spoiled, so we'll jump right into them. There are 10 player cards. We won't be covering any of the Mythos card in this review. So, first card is Carousel. It's a Guardian asset, costs 3 to play, 1 XP to buy, has 1 willpower icon, item traded, and reads user 3 supplies. If Carousel has no supplies, discard it. And then for 1 action, if an enemy was defeated at this location this round, exhaust Carousel and spend 1 supply. Heal up to 2 horror from among investigators and ally assets at your location. Okay, so it's a Guardian card which heals horror. It's an asset and you will be able to use it 3 turns. The conditions for using it are a bit weird. So an enemy has to be defeated at the location where you're using it. So if an adjacent location has an enemy and someone kills it, you can walk over there and use this, because that would be the location the enemy was defeated. It's basically thematic that you're burning the corpse of the enemy, I would assume, and that heals horror, because you're sure that it's dead then. How good is this card? It's kind of expensive. 3 resources in Guardian, it's not something to scoff about, and 1 XP. If we compare it to something like If It Bleeds, which costs 1 and it's level 0. This is an event, but this usually heals usually 2 horror, but it heals that to everyone at the location. So it could be like 4 or even 6, even 8 horror heals, and this is just for 1 card. If we compare it to the Rogue Liquid Courage, which is like the baseline for healing horror, this one heals 8 horror, but only for 1 resource 0 XP. There is a test involved in it, and if you fail it, you don't heal the second horror and you actually discard cards. So with Carousel there are no tests, you'll heal it unconditionally. But if it were just like between Liquid Courage and Carousel, I would probably still run the Liquid Courage. Someone like Skid don't really like the Liquid Courage, and Finn definitely don't like the Liquid Courage, because they have so low willpower. Finn can take Carousel, but Skid can. So it might be an option for Skid to run Carousel. If we compare to like Clemency of Mind from Dunwich Lazy, where I have never seen anyone use this card. They're kind of similar actually. Sure, this heals more, but cost wise this is cheaper in both XP and resource, but they have 3 charges. I don't know. Therma that came last pack, it's more expensive, but this also heals damage. It has another condition though, that you have to have trauma to be able to use it. However, one thing to note about Carousel is that it heals ally assets, and there are not a lot of cards that heal allies. We have First Aid level 3, which is a very strong card that heals allies. Also, Inspiring Presence also heal ally for 1 horror. So I don't know. Carousel is if you're running a lot of assets, allies, it might be a good card. Skids probably like it. Yeah, it's an okay card. I don't see myself running it anytime soon, but I think you can definitely build around or some decks really like to include this, because it's 2. You heal 2 horror among the investigators and ally assets at your location. So I guess you could split 1 horror on 1 investigator and 1 on yourself, because you get to spread it out. So that's kind of cool. Next card is we're recording, right? Yeah. The next card is the big Guardian asset, the big gun. We actually had one in the last pack, or 2 pack in the bar. So we actually have another one, and this is the Flamethrower. It's a Guardian asset, cost 5. Oh, it actually says wrong here. I'm reading the text here, but this is wrong. I'm gonna go on the picture. I believe that's more accurate. So it costs 4 to play, 5 XP to include. Has 2 combat and 1 wild icon, and it's item, weapon, and firearms rated. Uses 4 ammo, and it reads: action, spend 1 ammo, fight. The enemy chosen from this attack must be an enemy engaged with you with the highest fight value. You get +4 combat for this attack. If this attack is successful, instead of standard damage, you may assign up to 4 damage among enemies engaged with you. Any additional damage added to this total. And it takes up both hand and a body slot. So this is like a big gun that you burn a lot of enemies at the same time. If we compare it to like some of the other ones, the shotgun, it has potential to do 10 damage if you do maximum damage with both shots. The lightning gun has potential to do 9 damage if you hit all 3. And the bar will do 8 damage. The flamethrower will do 16 damage, which is a lot more. It's almost like 1.5 of the other weapons. Even more. And this you can spread up on multiple enemies. This seems really strong. Like if you have 2 enemies on you, maybe two health enemies, you'll burn them with 1 attack. And I mean, even if you won't be able to kill all of them, you can just keep burning them. 4 ammo, it's quite a lot actually. You however need to get all the enemies on you, so you can't just engage, fire them, because then you will take attack of opportunity. So if you're running the flamethrower, having taunt or level 2 taunt might not be such a bad idea. If you're someone like Zoe, you'll get tons of money also. So it's really cool. However, the drawback, it takes up both hand slots, which is not too unusual with the big guns, but it also takes up the body slot. Which we have never seen any asset takes up like 2 different slots like this. So that's cool. This means that it takes both slots, obviously, not that you get to choose. And this means that you can't run like the bandolier with a machete, which is something I usually do if I'm running like a bar or lightning gun. I have a secondary machete, or like to hit off the smaller ones. However, you don't really need to fight off the smaller ones if you have the flamethrower, because you'll burn them in the process of burning the big ones. However, if you're only getting small enemies on you, like 1 enemy, you still have to deal with it somehow. So I was just spawning, like if you're someone like Zoe, you could maybe take 1 shivering to fight off the small ones. It's probably not worth it, but it could be an idea if you want to save your flamethrower ammo. You can bless that. Nope, that's not the right card. Is it? It's not from the Forgotten Age, is it? I don't think it is. I don't remember what the card is. What they called? Custom animation. I thought it was blessed animation. So you can put this on the flamethrower, and then if the highest enemy that you're attacking is a monster, you'll do 1 additional damage, which you can. That'll be 5 damage. You get to spread out. Yeah. So like any additional damage adds to this total. So that's good and important to understand. If you commit a vicious blow, you don't do 1 additional damage to every enemy. You now do 5 damage that you get to spread out. Really cool card. Can't wait to try this. Let's close a couple of tabs. Next card is Vantage Point. It's a Seeker event, cost 1 resource to play, 0 XP to include. Has a an intellect and an agility icon. Inside traded like all Seeker events so far. Fast. Play after a location enters play or is revealed during an investigator's turn. Until the end of the active investigator's turn, the location gets -1 shroud. You may move 1 clue to that location from any other location. Whoa! So there's a lot of text or a lot of information in this card. So there are 2 windows where you can play it. After a location enter play, and that's usually like by advancing the act or something, then new location pops in, or if you walk to another location that might spawn this location, or if you just reveal a location that is in place, because after a location enter play, I guess that has to enter play. Yeah, it doesn't have to be revealed when it enters play for you to be able to vantage point that location. It'll still get -1 shroud, you just don't know what that value will be. So it kind of works similar to Jake from Ursula's deck, and he triggers when you reveal a location or put a new location into play. I have never tried Jake though, even played Ursula so much. I just never get the time to I don't see it being worth. And that might be the same thing here. This I think is better. And the strong thing about this card, I don't think it's the -1 shroud. I think it's the move 1 location. Because if you have a high shroud location or a location which like you have to pay to investigate or use extra action, moving 1 clue from that location to this new location might be really good. This card definitely becomes better if you know the scenario, so you know where to lower the shroud, which clues to move. So yeah, if you -1 shroud is always good, especially if you're using with like flashlight -3 shroud. You'll be able to find a lot of clues, guaranteed. Then it's a cool card, but I think you have to know the scenario to get full advantage of this, like most cards. Okay, this is the Fnatic manuscript, Mindexpanding IDs. It's a 5-cost 5 XP Seeker asset card, has an intellect and a wild icon, item, relic, and tome traded. Uses 3 secrets. And then has a reaction. When an investigator at your location would perform a skill test during a revelation effect, spend 1 secret. Do not reveal chaos token for this test. And then it has 1 action. Spend 1 secret. Choose an investigator at your location. Do not reveal chaos token for the next skill test that the investigator performed this turn. So this is a really cool card. This seems really fun to play with. So you play it for 5. It comes with 3 secrets. And then you can spend those secrets in 2 different ways. When anyone would draw a treachery card with a revelation effect. Because, well, that's 99% of the revelations effect, I think. I don't think something like rotting remains. It comes in and has the revelation effect, has 3 willpower. You can spend the secret then to force the one whoever drew that one. It can be you, because you're at your location. That person don't have to draw a chaos token then, which is super useful if you only have like 3 will, and you probably will fail it then. Not drawing Chaos Token is super useful because then you can also, you know how much skill cards you need to pitch in, or cards to pitch into a test to pass it. And you can do this when you like see what the card is. You can always also use it in another effect, that you spend one secret and one action to choose someone at your location, you yourself included, to not reveal a Chaos Token for the next test they do. And this could be something like a huge fight, or if you're trying to scoop up multiple clues with like a double or nothing card. So this card with double or nothing is probably very good. Since you don't have to, well, since you're doubling the effect, the what is it called, the test with double or nothing, but you'll still get to double the results. You still have to double the difficulty, but you know how much you need to do to pass it. Really cool ID. It only comes in with 3 secrets though, so it will run out pretty quick. If we compare to like Will to Survive from the core set, this doesn't let you reveal Chaos Token for an entire turn. This is much more flexible, that you can spread it out over multiple turns. It is a tome, so Daisy likes it. She gets to use this for free. She still has to spend a secret, but she doesn't have to spend an action. Daisy desperately need new tomes. It's a relic, so you can find it with Ellie. And a card that I did not think much of when it was spoiled. It was True from Fiction. You get to place 2 secrets on an asset you control. This definitely becomes much better than this is like an extra ammunition. You put 2 secrets on it, that basically almost double the amount of secrets. Enraptured you can also run in Daisy. She can take Mystic cards, so Enraptured, True from Fiction, and Manuscript in Daisy. Probably a very good combo. Yeah, that's our secret cards. Oh, and it also takes the hand slot. I don't know if I mentioned that. So this is Borrowed Time. It's 1 cost, 3 XP asset, rogue asset, has a willpower and an agility icon. It's ritual traded and it reads exceptional, so it costs actually 6 experience to include. Action: place 1 resource on Borrowed Time as a click to a maximum of 3 clicks on Borrowed Time. This does not provoke attack of opportunity. Forced: when your turn begins, remove all clicks from Borrowed Time. Then you may take that many additional action this turn. So it's a card which lets you move clicks from one action from one turn to another. If you don't know, first things first, FFE also did a card game called Netrunner, where you have actions, and those actions, like in Arkham Horror, you have actions, but those actions are called clicks, and you put clicks on this card. And if you see this clock, it's probably supposed to represent this click icon. So that's really cool. There's probably a better picture of it. Since Netrunner has been discontinued, I see this like an homage to Netrunner. And it also takes the 1 arcane slot. I don't know if I said that. So, really cool card thematically. How good is it? So you you spend 1 action to make your next turn into 1 additional action, or if you spend 2 action, you get 2 extra action next turn. Then you might be thinking, well, maybe I don't need those extra actions next turn. Something I think a lot of people are missing though is that next turn, since you have, let's say you spend 2 actions to get 5 actions next turn, next turn you can just move those 2 actions to next turn and keep pushing them forward until you need them. Because this doesn't cost anything. The only thing that this costs is an action. It doesn't cost you a resource, you just place one resource from the bank. So you can keep pushing forward actions until you need them. There are a lot of times I feel like I don't know what to do with my last action, so I just might take a resource or draw a card, which is often not like optimal, especially not just take one resource if you don't need it. So placing, pushing that action forward is probably good. This is in Rogue, so you have card like Leo DeLuca, you have 4 actions, so there are a lot of times maybe you don't need all 4 actions. You could, if you have Ace in the Hole, you could play this prematurely, just to remove the card from hand, in case you are playing a scenario which might mill card from your hand. Skids could have the police badge to do something similar. If you're running like the Chicago typewriter, then you have a lot of more actions to pump the strength if you need. It got super fun with Payday. You get 3 additional action that turn you're going to Payday, so you get 3 more resources. You could do power turns with like the Red Gloved Man, where you have, I don't know, 7 actions to use his ability. I see a lot of people who don't think this card is good. I haven't tried it myself, but I think this is I think it's probably a balanced card for 6 XP. If you're playing someone like Finn, if you evaded an enemy, that could be your extra action. So then you still have 1 action that you could push forward, if you don't need all 4 action that turn. I think it's a fine card, since you can always keep pushing them. I don't really get why you have to remove all the clicks at the start of your turn, since you can just put them back. I think they should say like, it should be a reaction when your turn begins. You could remove all of them, but yeah. That's Borrowed Time. Next card is All In. It's a rogue skill. Has 2 wild icons, fortune traded, and it reads max 1 committed per skill test. If this test is successful, draw 1 card for each point you succeed by to a maximum of 5. Shuffle each weakness drawn by this effect back into the deck without resolving it. So this is kind of like Unexpected Courage, which lets you draw multiple cards, and that's good. That's good. You could double or nothing it if you're feeling really lucky, to be able to draw 10 cards. However, when I first, the thing is, you're not guaranteed to draw cards. You have to succeed to draw cards. So I think it's in a kind of a weird spot without having tried it, because you want to, it has 2 wild icons, so you want to use it on maybe a bit harder tests, but you also want to use it on easy tests, so you get a lot of card draw. So I don't know really where you want to use this card. For a 5 XP card, it's kind of a boring card. It's good, it lets you draw a lot of cards, but it's not very flashy. I have noticed, like if you're playing Finn, you could, with Pickpocket and the Lucky Cigarette Case, you get to draw so many cards anyway. So I don't think it's for Finn, but maybe someone like, I don't know, has Safina card problem with drawing cards. I don't know. Finn can't even take this card though, so no one in the Forgotten Age can take this card, which is a bit weird. Yeah, All In, not a super flashy card, but probably good. Okay, Shards of the Void. This is our first Mystic card. Costs 3 resource and 3 XP. Has a will and a combat icon. Really cool picture. I think that's of one of the investigators, but I'm not entirely sure. I haven't played any other of the Arkham games. I think its name is like Drex or something. Let's see. Arkham Horror Drex. Nope, I might be totally wrong. So it's a spell traded. When you play it, you seal a 0 token on it. Use 3 charges. Action. Spend 1 charge or release a chaos token sealed here. Release is that you put it back in the chaos bag. Fight. This attack uses will instead of combat and deals 1 additional damage. You get +2 willpower for this attack for each 0 token sealed on Shard of the Voids. For each 0 token revealed during this attack, seal a token on Shard of the Void, and this attack deals 1 additional damage, and it takes up the arcane slot. So, this is kind of like a Shivering level 3. They both cost the same in XP, and so they both do 1 additional damage. They both, when you play them, give +2 to willpower. However, the Shivering, as you know, can fire back at you. However, it is like a leverage point to upgrade to level 5 Shivering, which is very strong. The Shards of Void, however, play around the theme of sealing stuff on it. Sealing the 0 is probably not that good. The 0 is probably considered like a good chaos token, because you're usually doing tests where you're equal or above. So sealing it might not be the best thing. However, you can release it when you fight, but you probably don't want to release it, because then you're not getting the +2. If you would draw another 0, then you're doing 3 damage, however, which is pretty strong for a level 3 card. However, then you would have sealed 2 zeros, which might be the only zeros you have in the bag in some campaigns. So if you have 2 zeros sealed on it, I probably would release one of them when I fight. It's kind of similar to the Song of Dead, that you're hoping to draw stuff though, because you want the zeros to do that extra damage most of the time. You just don't want them to be there. You could use Olive to draw 3, and then you're definitely increasing the chance of seeing a 0. Yeah, it's a cool card. I look forward to try out this card, because it's a bit hard to justify how good it is without having tried it. Thing though, if you're playing Jim and you draw a skull, I'm pretty sure you cannot seal the skull on the Shard of Void, even though they are you treat them as zeros, because you just treat in the modifier as 0. You don't treat the whole token as a 0, so you can't seal skulls on Shards of Void with Jim. Next card. It's Seal of the 7th Sign, Over the Thresholds and Beyond. It costs 4 to play and 4 uses to play and 5 XP to include in your deck. Willpower and wild icon. Spell ritual traded. Seal auto fail. Let's just pause there. Seal auto fail. Whatever the text comes after that, it barely doesn't even matter. So seal auto fail. Did I say Elder Sign? Well, you seal the red token. Use 7 charges. If Seal of the 7th Sign has no charges, or if it leaves play, remove it from the game. Forced. After a Skull, Cultist, Tablet, or Elder Thing token is revealed during any skill test, remove 1 charge from Seal of the Elder Sign, and it takes up the arcane slot. So, this is a card I never thought we would see, which is why I love this game, because there are tons of time that we see cards that I would never think we would see. So this seals the auto fail token for 7 times that you draw the bad tokens. That's all it does. So as a card, it's not very flashy. Well, it's super flashy, but it's not perhaps too fun to play, because you're playing it and then the card seemingly doesn't do anything. It probably does a lot though. how many times have you said, as long as I don't draw the auto fail, I'll succeed and we will win this? So I think it's a very strong card. It's very highly costed, but it can probably save a lot of situation. Not really situation, because you can never play around the auto fail. And I mean, even if you just play this 7 charges, it'll probably last for at least 20 to 30 tests. You can even like protect incarnation and the canotic. I can't speak now. Cantanion Stone, the special tokens, to decrease the chance of drawing them even more. So yeah, cool card. Yeah, the thing is, you won't probably notice that it's doing something, because there are some games where you never draw the red one, and then there's games where you draw it all the time. So if you feel like you have a tendency of drawing it more, invest in this, and then you won't see it for a good chunk of the scenario. Yeah. Okay, on to our 2 last cards. This is Impromptu Barrier. It's a survivor event. Cost 1 to play, 0 XP. Tactic Improvisation. You may play Impromptu Barrier from your discard pile. If you do, shuffle it into your deck after resolving its effect. And the effect is Evade. The chosen enemy gets -1 evade for this evasion attempt. If you play the Impromptu Barrier from your discard pile, you may evade an additional enemy at the same location with evade value X or lower. X is the amount you succeed by. So this is like the improvised weapon and winging it, which lets you fight and find clues. However, this says you're evading stuff, and we have seen this theme before with cards like Oops and what are they called? Look What I Found and something else. I'm not too keen on any of these cards. I think these 2 are much better than the Impromptu Barrier. Because sure, you get to evade an additional enemy, perhaps, if you succeed by X. I mean, you need to succeed by the enemy's evade value, which are usually like 2 or 3. So you need to succeed by 2 or 3. And then you're playing 1 to, I don't know. It just doesn't seem worth it. I might be overlooking something with this card, or there might come an investigator who might want to evade a lot. Hint, hint. Spoiler for next cycle. But currently, I don't see much. I don't see who would use this. I think there are better options if you want to evade. Yeah. Not too fun card. That's basically what I'm getting into. Last card. This is Altered Fate. And this card we have seen was spoiled before. Cost 1, 3 XP to include. It's an event as a wild icon. A picture of the tower being burnt or struck by lightning or something. Spell Blessed. So it's a blessed card. So I think Father Matteo might be able to take it, right? He could take blessed card. Yeah. So Matteo can also take this. Fast play during any fast player window. Or any free window, yeah. Choose and discard from play a non-weakness treachery that is not attached to an elite enemy. We make our own fate. So this is a very simple card. You choose a treachery card, and that is discarded. So I will spoil a couple of treachery cards, but no like super rare, like Frozen in Fear. That's a horrible treachery, where you have to test stuff. There are a lot of treachery cards from the Forgotten Age, so if you haven't played Forgotten Age, maybe look away if I can find them. So an important thing is to know that you have to be able to... The treachery has to be in play. You don't cancel the Revelations effect. But stuff like Entombed, where you're stuck and maybe you can't get out, or Lost in the Wilds, being able to remove cards like these. I mean, Lost in the Wilds are removed at the end of turn, so maybe not that one. But there are some cards that are horrible to get rid of for some investigators. So being able to just remove this with any... You don't have to test anything. Seems really strong. Yeah. So that's our last card. We got 248 cards in the Forgotten Age, same as Carcosa, which are more than the Dunwich Legacy. Yeah, that's the Shattered Aeons. I hope you have enjoyed my review of the Forgotten Age. If you have, I will probably continue with the Circle Undone. We had a bit of a pause here at the City of Arkham and Depth of Yogs, and I hope I won't continue having blanks periods like that. So when the Circle Undone comes around, we will review that. The return to Dunwich will probably happen before even that. So if you did like this video, please leave a like, comment, subscribe and all that good. It really lets me see that people are actually watching these videos. So until next time, good luck with those token pools.